We got some really, really thought-provoking stuff from you this week.
Oh, yeah.
It's all about that weird feeling, the one that's more than just, oh, I've been here before.
Déjà vu.
Kind of, but deeper. Like a feeling that maybe reality itself is a repeat.
Okay. I think I see where this is going.
Exactly. We're talking about those moments that make you wonder, seriously wonder, could these intense flashes, these familiar situations, be more than just like memory hiccups?
Could they be something bigger?
Yeah, could they be like the material you sent explores, actual glimpses into some kind of simulated afterlife?
Right. It's a pretty wild idea, but the sources you shared really lean into it. They take déjà vu, that very human thing, and they basically ask, what if it's not a brain glitch?
What if it's evidence?
Evidence, yeah. Evidence that reality isn't quite as, original or linear as we think. What gets me is just how bold the idea is. Taking what feels like a personal memory thing and saying, nope, this could be a sign of a massive repeating system.
Okay, let's dig into that then, this repeating system. The sources paint this picture almost like life is a lipping program.
Like a simulation.
Yeah, like a super advanced digital world where everything we experience just gets recycled, replayed. Think about those weird moments, right?
Yeah.
Where time feels like it stutters, you have a conversation, and it feels exactly like you remember it unfolding, vaguely.
Or those flashes of the past that feel super real, but also just out of grasp.
Yes.
Yeah.
That intense, this has happened before, exactly like this feeling, not just, general familiarity.
Exactly. And the sources are saying these aren't just random brain farts, basically. They're suggesting these intense déjà vu moments might be like glitches in the code, little moments where the underlying structure, the simulation itself kind of shows through.
So if we run with this idea, this looping reality,
then déjà vu isn't just your brain messing up. It's more like seeing the seams in the fabric of reality.
it makes you wonder about time then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And that kind of system. Is it even linear?
Could be more like a circle.
And this is where it gets really interesting because humans, we've been obsessed with the afterlife forever, right?
Oh, absolutely. Religions, philosophies, myths, they all try to tackle it.
And then you have science, our understanding of the brain, memory, how things like déjà vu actually happen neurologically.
Right, the scientific explanations.
Yeah. But what's fascinating is how the source material tries to, connect those two worlds.
The mystical and the neurological.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It doesn't just throw out the science. It asks this really clever what if.
Okay.
What if those brain things, those glitches, aren't errors? What if they're actually features of this simulated afterlife?
So déjà vu isn't a bug.
It's a feature. Maybe it's like a faint echo, from a past life, but within the same simulation loop.
That definitely flips the script on how we see those feelings.
Yeah. And then the sources bring in near-death experiences, NDEs.
Right, the tunnel of light, seeing relatives.
Yeah, that feeling of peace, seeing your life flash before your eyes like a movie. Those accounts are surprisingly consistent.
They really are.
So if you try to mesh NDEs with this simulation idea,
it starts to build a kind of narrative, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The sources suggest maybe death isn't the end, it's just a transition.
Into the simulation loop.
Exactly. And those common NDE things, maybe they're glimpses of the system booting up or the transfer process.
A life review thing.
Could literally be a quick playback of the cycle before it starts again. Whoa!
It makes you look at those shared NDE stories a bit differently.
Definitely.
And the idea of time gets even weirder here, too. The material mentions fluid time.
Oh, lewd time.
Yeah, and even like a cosmic hard drive, where memories are stored maybe outside our own heads.
So déjà vu isn't just your brain.
It could be your consciousness accidentally, like tapping into that external drive, re-experiencing bits of a past loop because the system didn't fully wipe clean.
Okay, that raises a big question then about how this simulation would even work. If there's no proper reset, like the source says,
that would explain why feelings or even events might seem to repeat.
It wouldn't be you choosing to relive it. It'd just be the system's leftovers, sort of.
And if the system isn't perfect?
Glitches. Which brings us back to those other weird things the source material talks about.
Right, those almost surreal moments like gravity feeling off for a split second.
Or daylight flickering. Or colors looking washed out.
Things you'd normally just brush off, right? Oh, my eyes are tired or whatever.
But if you're in a simulation, maybe those are real anomalies. The code stuttering.
A crack showing the artificial nature underneath.
Could be. Like a dropped frame in a cosmic video.
And the material also points to patterns, Like things we might notice if we were in a loop.
Like what?
Like a specific song always popping up when you're feeling intense or half asleep, or seeing people who look exactly like someone you know, but they aren't. Doppelgangers.
Okay, yeah, that's happened.
Or dreams feeling so incredibly real, they kind of bleed into your waking life. It's like the simulation is reusing assets almost.
These recurring things, the sources say, could be like breadcrumbs, little clues. We're in a cycle.
Makes you pay more attention to coincidences, doesn't it?
Yeah. Is that familiar song just random, or is it something else?
Now look, the material doesn't ignore the elephant in the room.
Which is?
That this whole simulated afterlife thing sounds completely nuts. Like straight up science fiction.
And I mean, it does. That's a fair reaction. It's easy to just say pure fantasy.
But then the source makes a really good point. Our own tech.
Ah, right. How fast it's moving. VR, AI.
We're getting closer and closer to making incredibly real virtual worlds. AI is getting scarily smart.
So the pivot is,
if we can even imagine creating a digital afterlife someday, maybe soon,
then how do we know we aren't already in one? Made by someone or something way more advanced.
Exactly. It's that classic simulation argument, but applied to the afterlife.
That thought experiment, it really does make you question things. By looking at where we're heading, it suddenly makes the idea of being in a simulation feel, well, less impossible.
Yeah, less sci-fi maybe. It challenges our whole baseline of what's real.
Definitely.
Okay, let's circle back to the glitches for a sec, specifically sensory ones.
Like smells or textures.
Yeah. The material mentions how a certain smell, or even just a touch, can trigger that powerful, I've done this before feeling, even if you have no actual memory of it.
Like accessing a memory file that shouldn't be there.
Right. And the source suggests these could be like leftover data packets.
From a previous loop.
Yeah, residual info. A smell that was important last time around maybe, and it wasn't fully overwritten, and bam, that intense, weird familiarity hits you.
Suggesting the system's reset isn't perfect. There's bleed through.
And if this is true, I mean, the implications are just huge.
Yeah, the source gets into that. What does it mean for love, pain, ambition?
Yeah.
If it's all just recycled echoes.
Does it make it meaningless?
Or maybe, as the source hints, maybe it makes emotions more intense. Because there's this constant undercurrent of having felt it all before. The joy, the loss, like a strange pre-echo in everything.
That's, unsettling.
Deeply unsettling.
But, okay, amidst all this potential doom loop stuff, the material throws out a little lifeline.
Oh.
The idea of breaking free by noticing the glitch.
So if you become aware of the loop.
Could you, hack the system, change the program somehow?
That's, wow, a tantalizing thought. So awareness itself becomes the key.
Maybe. The source suggests if you get attuned to the patterns, the glitches, maybe you could step outside the loop. It gives back some sense of control, potentially.
Could just noticing be a way to fight back, in a way?
Could be. And yet, the source also points out life just goes on, doesn't it? It seems normal, routines, spontaneous moments.
But underneath?
Underneath, it could all be part of this massive, endless simulation. Yeah. Maybe designed to keep some flicker of a former self alive, stuck repeating.
Wow. So the source basically leaves us hanging with these huge, uncomfortable questions.
Pretty much. Like, could the next time you get déjà vu be the big one? The real crack in the wall?
Is it just a constant reminder that time isn't straight?
And the biggest one? Did we already die? Is this whole feeling of, I know this, just the afterlife constantly pinging us?
It really gives you a lot to chew on.
It does. This whole deep dive leaves you with that really provocative thought. Maybe the truth is hiding right there in those weird feelings, waiting for us to decode it.
And that maybe nothing is really what it seems.
So yeah, next time that wave of déjà vu hits, maybe just pause. Consider it. Could it be more than a brain blip? Could it be a signal?
From somewhere else. Or someone else.
Definitely opened up some pretty mind-bending possibilities about reality, consciousness, our whole existence, really. Thanks for bringing these ideas forward.
Yeah, fascinating stuff. A lot to think about.